Hello, guys. I'm back. How's everyone out there doing? Happy Tuesday. Happy April the 7th. I hope everybody had a wonderful Easter weekend. I mean, we really didn't do a whole lot. We waited for my son to come by and his family, and it was raining, so they really couldn't go outside and hunt Easter eggs, but we went to eat, and then they left and had a peaceful Easter here. Didn't get in the crowds. There wasn't much going on. I hate that it was raining for the kids because they couldn't even. Anyway, they couldn't even hunt eggs, but it's okay. It's okay. I got to see them, and I'm very happy that I got to see them. So it was kind of cool. How's everybody doing? Has anyone missed me? Probably not, but it's okay because I have missed recording. I have not been in the happiest of moods. I'm kind of like I'm already goofy. I can admit that I'm already goofy. So me not using my sleeping pills like I'm supposed to makes me goofier. So I've been avoiding being goofy, being super goofy. But I figured I wanted to record yesterday and didn't do it. So today I figured I'd better get on here and record. So we're on day 97 of the year. Get moving right along, almost 100. Before you know it, it'll be the end of the year again. I don't like the way time moves on. I really don't. But it's how it happens. This one says, expect to change your opinions. Expect to change your opinions. So here we go. We're reading into the Daily Stoic, and this is the best way that I have learned to overcome depression in a way that I can control my brain. The Usually when you're depressed, or when I was depressed, it was like I can't make my mind think something else. And I stayed depressed. I woke up every day thinking the same thing, feeling the same way. Not a good way to be. Not a good way to be. I had no idea that I can control what I was thinking. Turns out I can, and anybody else can. Stoicism came about 500 BC, and it was a way that people felt like the only way you can control what you can, and don't worry about. I mean, be aware of the things that you cannot change, so that you'll know how to react to them. But pretty much, just be able to control what you can, and don't worry about the things you can't. You know, whatever it is, whether it be the weather. I always say the weather or the traffic, or other people's opinions or their actions and their behavior. You can't control any of that, so there's no reason getting aggravated or offended. The word offended, I have no idea where it came from. I mean, I get it. I know it's been a word forever, but it just here recently, everybody seems to be offended. What can you not be offended of? What I mean, just get over yourself. Um, you expect the world to bow down because you're offended. That's not how that works. The world moves on, and so should you. And that's just how I feel. Now that I'm able to practice what is in control of my brain. So we're going to read this item for today, day 97 of the year, and then we'll get into a small discussion. I went to StreamYard. I'm not. I'm having problems. I'm not having problems, but I'm having problems. I'm streaming, recording videos and things like that. I just kind of want to be a little bit more professional, and I don't think I'm doing that. So I'm here streaming for this today, and then I'll work with something else later. I'll try to be interchangeable with things. So that's what that is. This is what this is. So anyway, we're gonna read this and see where things go today. If there are two things that must be rooted out in human beings: arrogant opinion and mistrust. Arrogant opinion expects that there is nothing further needed, and mistrust assumes that under the torrent of circumstance there could be no happiness. And Epictetus said that in his discourses. How often do we begin some project certain we know exactly how it will go? How often do we meet people and think we know exactly who and what they are? And how often are these assumptions proved to be completely and utterly wrong? Probably every day, every 30 minutes, I'm sure. This is why we must fight our biases and preconceptions, because they are a liability. Ask yourself, what haven't I considered? Why is the thing the way it is? Am I part of the problem or the solution? Could I be wrong here? Be doubly careful to honor what you do not know and then set that against the knowledge of what you actually have. Remember, if there is one core teaching at the heart of this philosophy, it's that we're not as smart and as wise as we'd like to think we are. If we ever do want to become wise, it comes from the questioning and from humility, not as many would like to think, from certainty and mistrust and arrogance. In this, Epictetus he says to expect to change our opinions. There are a lot of things that, especially when I was growing up in the South, that I learned from my family that are not necessarily what I believe today. And I never thought I could live differently apart from, I thought what I learned as my childhood, that was going to be set in stone forever. But it turns out it is not. You can change your opinion. And I think that's why a lot of people are very racy, very much in a hurry to get their opinions out there because they think that they can change someone else's opinion. They can make someone else see something differently. And it's great if you can get them to see something differently, but don't push that opinion on somebody else. What their opinion is not set in stone. It will eventually change depending on what it is that they believe, depending on what it is that they feel. But there were certain things growing up that I really did think I would believe any different. And I did. I learned to live differently, and I learned to believe differently than what I had originally started with. And there are many things like that today. So expect to change your opinions. What you may think may be a danger to you or your family, what may be wrong. Um, at another point, it could be that you're accepting adversity or learning to tolerate certain things. And that's one thing that I think that we don't do enough of. We don't tolerate um, other people's differences. We think that everything should be right here and right now. And I don't think we should be that way. I think we should be more tolerant and we should accept people as they are. It's hard. It's hard because we always expect everybody to be like this. But with 100 billion people in the world, however many we have, there's 100 billion different attitudes, and there's 100 billion. You might find somebody that is a lot like you, but there are ways that this person may not be like you at all. So we have to really tolerate, be tolerant. And would you want someone to accept you as you are? Yes, because we do that every day. We wake up thinking that everybody's gonna just accept us as we are. And we go through life and we go through stores and we are like, okay, everybody's accepting me. And, you don't know what people are saying about you behind your back. You really have no idea. Um, the world, I always call the world a two-faced, you know, thing because what you think, but people may think of you is not really what they think of you. And I learned that from work. I think she's sweet. I think she's charming. And then at the end, when I finished work, everybody was like, "Well, she's hard to get along with. She can, she's going to tell you how she feels." Yeah, yeah, that's because at first, you didn't give me reason to be mean or to tell you how I felt. But in the end, you brought down the monster, and now you've got the monster. I can't be a monster. I really can't. She can be difficult. Yes, I can be very difficult. Anyway, that's how the world is. Just because you think they think one thing of you, it can change. Everybody's opinion changes through time. And it helps because we're an ever-changing people. What you see at first is not exactly. Everybody's always worried about the first impression. Okay, I get that. It's 2:00. People. Always. Always. She always interrupts me. I get that. The first impression is always the biggest impression you want to see. But what does it matter if that first impression can be changed. We always give the first impression. Oh, she seems timid, or she seems shy, she seems sweet. And then, in my case, you figure out later that she's not as sweet as she seemed to be. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry if you're watching this. But yeah, I can be really sweet when I want to be. And then there's something in me kind of clicks at different times. And I think that's with everybody. There are times that you show that you're a different person than what people expected out of you. So they want you, what have I not considered? Why is this thing the way it is? Am I part of the problem here? Or the solution? Could I be wrong here? These are things you always have to question for yourselves. Even in your own thoughts, even in your own opinions. There's all kinds of isms that I don't want to go into. Are we really looking at the truth? Are we part of the problem? Are we part of the solution? Are we accepting people? Are we tolerating people? Are we living in a way that our childhood, was raised, how we were raised, how our family believes? I feel very, I didn't do it around my family, but I feel very blessed. I feel very honored that I was able to challenge how my family really believed about certain things. I'm glad I could do that for myself. I didn't do it to their face or anything, but I did challenge what they thought, and I learned that they weren't right, even though that's how I wanted to be seen as part of the family. But when I moved up here, I really didn't go back and forth, the way people usually do. I kind of just stayed here. It was like, well, okay, if you're not going to come up here and visit, I did go home a couple of times, and people wouldn't. They just didn't seem excited to see me, so I pretty much just stayed up here. So I didn't get the chance to challenge their beliefs to their face, so to speak. It wasn't like I was being a coward or anything of that nature. I just felt like it wasn't worth the time for me to go all the way down there, get in their face, and challenge their beliefs anymore. So I just stayed up here. So that is my message for today. Expect your opinions to change. Just what you think at first. You may not always think that way. And that's great. If you have that growth among you, if you have that, that in your heart, that you can grow and change and feel different one way, from one day to the next, that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. What you might like one day may not be what you like the next day. And I do that every day. Every other day, I'm like, wait a minute, I like this yesterday. So, yeah. That kind of thing. Expect your opinions to change. Don't expect other people's opinions to change, because people are like dead set on their opinions. How they feel about their opinions is how you felt about your opinions. So you can state your opinion. You can state it one time. If nobody agrees with you, don't force it down their throat. It's not worth it. It keeps your peace of mind. It keeps their peace of mind. We're good to go. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful Tuesday. I do hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful Easter. I learned that I can go out of town in a couple of weeks, and I'm excited about that. I miss a lot of information, critical information in my absence from being here. I've read on some of it, and I'm like, I really needed, so I'll go back and try to get some of that out. And then I will be going out of town for a little while. And then I'll come back and I'll be all refreshed, and maybe with a better attitude, maybe with a different attitude. Who knows? Who knows? Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, do all the things that YouTube expects for you to, for them to recommend my videos. I couldn't think of the word. To recommend my videos, because I would love to reach more people. The more people that I can get to understand that they can change their brain, they can change the way they think, they can change their attitudes, they can change their opinions, the more people that I can reach and get to that, we'll have less depressed people or less sad people in the world. You're talking to a woman. I'm going to go ahead and tell you again. Talking to, well, you're watching a woman who is very, very sad, who could not look anybody in the eye, who could not um, string two words together coherently out of fear of sounding ridiculous. Now I just don't care if I sound ridiculous. Um, a person that would not show her face to anyone. I mean, I wouldn't go out in public. I wouldn't do anything. I was just very, very timid, very upset, very sad all the time. I cried about anything. I mean, the worst thing was to tell me I wasn't right, or tell me I was doing no good, or just anything to like downgrade my self. I didn't take it as constructive criticism. I took it as an insult, and I cried, and I cried, and I cried. And here now, 2 years later, well, a year later, because I started this about a year ago. A year later, I feel like I'm just talking better. I'm making better sense. And you can't hurt me. You really can't hurt me because I've been through more than you can imagine. You can't hurt me. So if you give me an insult, that's fine. Let me work with it. I'll see what I can do. It's fine. It's fine. It's all gravy. It's your opinion. It's not necessarily mine or anybody else's. So we'll just work with that. Sorry, guys. It's how it is. Just how it is. So, but no, I don't want anyone to be sad. I don't like the big S word. I don't like to say it, especially here on YouTube, because it's a trigger for many people. And it's like a lot of people romanticize the idea of the big S word. And that's not what it is. I think those that have suffered through, the big S word, those who have fell victim to it, I think they were very, very strong people, and they were battling a deep, dark hole in themselves, and they fought as much as they could, and they, did what was best in their mind for them. So, I don't think anything of them. I don't think less of them at all. So anyway, I will see you next time. And I hope everybody has a good day. Bye bye. Yes, Robin.
I didn't mean to interrupt.